What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video, and it's Saturday. It's not a deadline stream. It's an international break. I said yesterday I wasn't even going to do a video on Saturday, and then bam, Mo Salah decides to go and get tested for COVID-19, and he tests positive. FPL community goes into meltdown. In fact, when I was doing the stream yesterday, the news got launched on Twitter or put on Twitter, and I said I didn't really want to talk about it in that stream because it wasn't that kind of stream. But I also thought it's such big news that maybe I should do a video on it, and I've decided to do one today. Have a little bit of time on Saturday, and it's going to be a little bit different to most of my videos. I know I just ramble usually anyway, but I'm just going to do this in one take and just go from there, kind of explain the situation, what my thoughts are now. I will say the news is still quite fresh. It hasn't, I don't think, been confirmed by Liverpool yet. Which is strange. Maybe they're waiting, hoping for a negative test at some point, or they're getting more news or whatever. I'm not too sure. We haven't had a whole lot of information exactly how long he's going to be out for. Is he going to be out for Game Week 9, Game Week 10, more? Does he have to stay in Egypt, as some reports are saying? There's a lot to go through. So I wanted to do a video. What I would say is it's international break, right? Don't worry too much about the prize rise unless it's going to absolutely put you out of being able to do the move you 100% know you're going to do. Otherwise, I'd almost try and relax, right? It's hard when Mo Salah, one of your most, precious players in your FPL scores, it is for me, for sure. And I know I've spoken about him a lot, and I wanted him for the rest of Christmas, etc. And I'm sure he's going to be back soon, right? Because the reports are he's not showing any symptoms or anything like that. So, obviously, people get affected by this in different ways. So it seems like he's going to be okay, but when he's going to be back, we don't know. So, like I said, just going to do all this in one take. So, Anfield Watch is a pretty decent site, and all this has been confirmed by the Egyptian FA, right? So it was a bit of a weird situation because it was said it was him, and I think they deleted the tweet and said it was some players from the squad, and then it was reported as Salah. Now, he took a test, it was positive. Sometimes what we've seen this season is players take a test and they test positive. They maybe not got symptoms or anything like that. They take another test and it comes back negative, and then they're fine to go on and play and do as normal. But with Salah, he took another test and it came back positive again, right? So what that means in terms of what he has to do next, I'm not 100% sure. I know there's stuff on like UK government websites and all that jazz, but footballers are a little bit different, I guess, because they're in bubbles and they're being tested more regularly. And also he's in Egypt. And the whole thing, this probably came about, not necessarily because of international football, because he went to his brother's wedding. There's about 150 people there, apparently. And that's, look, I won't get into whether he should have gone or shouldn't have gone, but that seems to have been what's happened. Now, Anfield Watch have continued to tweet out news from different sources. Whether or not these are legit or not, we don't know. Like I said, not really too much has been confirmed at this point. The reports in Egypt suggest Mo Salah will have to stay in isolation in the country until he gets a negative test. Now, how long that takes, I don't know. Whether this is true, I don't know. What I do know is Liverpool and Klopp are going to be fuming, I think. Internationals are bad enough, right? Should they even be happening right now? That's probably another video we could discuss. But they are happening. But to then go to a wedding and put yourself at more of a risk, Liverpool are not going to be happy about that at all. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. He might not be able to be back in Liverpool for a few weeks. Now, Anfield Watch haven't got this news. They've taken it from @real Kevin Palmer. Had a look. Look, could be legit, but we just don't know yet. We're going to have to wait and see what Liverpool come out and say. But like I said, I wanted to do a video on this because it's a pretty big talking point in FPL, and obviously it's a bit quiet with the international break. Normal content will resume next week, but I thought I'd give my initial thoughts. So this is my team as it stands going into next week. Now, if there wasn't any injuries or positive tests, I think this team is great. I'm so happy with this team. You shouldn't do this, but sometimes you look at the team and you think, that's looking really good. There's lots of points coming this week. That's what I've been doing with my Game Week 9 team, knowing that I've got 2 free transfers as well. So Kane and Son could be moved to Watkins and Sterling, Watkins and De Bruyne, Vardy and Ziyech, whatever it might be, right? There's moves I can make. But I'm probably not going to do that now because Rashford might be injured. So I'm giving my initial thoughts on what to do. So Mo Salah, right? How long is he going to be out for? If it's just Game Week 9, in almost all circumstances, obviously you don't buy him now, right? You certainly wait. If he's back for Game Week 9, maybe you still buy him if you don't own him. But you definitely don't buy him right now. If it's just Game Week 9 that he misses, for most people, the best option is going to be to play someone off your bench, right? You could go down the route of getting rid of him for Game Week 9 and bringing him back for Game Week 10. But essentially, those transfers, even if they're for free, they cost you 8 points because later on, you're not going to be able to use those transfers. So using 2 free transfers to get rid of one player, to bring him back, probably not great. Like if you've got someone like Souček on the bench or something like that, brilliant. If you've got a better defender than me, I've got Regular on the bench, which isn't ideal. But if you've got a better defender, maybe you just play them instead and hold that free transfer. So I think if it's just one game week, you get rid. People are worried about prices, but I think he's 12.4 million, right? So he started at 12. So that's the least you could have bought him for if you were like me and had him in game week 1. So the most you lose is 0.2 million. Now, I'm not saying losing money is a good thing, but if he was out for more than 1 week, he would probably go down in price anyway. So you wouldn't have to worry about that anyway. So for prices, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that. Although, obviously, if you are gonna get rid of him and bring him straight back in, then yeah, there's probably no point in doing that. So like I say, for most people, they'll play a bench. So right now, for example, for my team, I'm looking at this. Let's say that Rashford is fit, right, or I'm ready to play. We don't know that for sure, but he could be. If he is, I'd probably just keep Rashford, play him against West Brom, do my Kane-Son transfers that I was thinking about doing anyway, and then just bench Salah and play Basuma instead. Maybe play Reguilon instead, whatever it might be. If he's out for 2 weeks, then I start to think about getting rid, because it's Leicester at home, then it's Brighton away, 2 good fixtures. You could bring Mane in, you could do Salah to De Bruyne, Salah to Sterling, whatever it might be. There's some pretty good options. And it's 12.4 million sat on your bench, right? So if it's for 2 weeks, it's not looking as good. And if it's even longer than that, then that's a whole different story. You definitely get rid of that point. So that's kind of my initial thoughts and my initial plans with Salah. I mean, the plan is just to wait, right? Just to relax. It's Saturday. There's still a whole almost another week to the deadline. And you probably don't need to get rid of him right now. But ultimately, we don't have any info. I wish I could bring you more info than that, but we just don't have it right now. Maybe at some point soon, Liverpool or the Premier League or whoever will talk about it. Obviously, Liverpool most likely than the Premier League to talk about one particular player. We'll have to see what happens with the internationals, and maybe he takes another test, and at some point he'll be negative, and that'd be fine. But I'm not sure how long he's going to have to self-isolate when he comes back. Right now, it looks pretty likely he'll miss game week 9, and in that case, I think you just bench him. As long as you've got a bench. Some people don't have a bench, in which case a little bit of a different conversation. Maybe you improve your defence, or maybe you just transfer him out. But if you're going to get rid of him for 1 week, bearing in mind how many good fixtures he's got coming up, that you're going to want to captain him in, I think you just keep him. If he's out for 2 weeks, I will consider getting rid, and I'll probably keep one of Kane or Son and just do my De Bruyne move in a different way. So maybe Salah to De Bruyne, and maybe Son to Ziyech, or whatever it might be. Maybe I'll even think about Bruno Fernandes, right? And going for double Man United just for a few weeks. Nothing more than that. But yeah, that's what's going on with Salah. Don't panic. Try and relax. Let me know in the comments below what you're thinking of doing. Give it a like. Give it a like because it's Saturday, right? Put out a video on Saturday. Give it a like. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. And hopefully next week we'll have some more info and we'll talk about this a little bit more.